Hi, this is Rebecca Davis of Weird, Scary, and Interesting. And today's topic is pretty ghostly topic, perfect for this time of season, since we're in the spooky month. And its topic today will be Ghosts of Queens of Music. That's what we're talking about today. It's the sequel to the Ghost of Kings of Music. Yeah, it's their female equivalent. Okay. The phrase "a ghost of queens in music" can be interpreted as a metaphorical reference to a legacy or enduring influence or of deceased and influential musicians, often referred to as queens of their own respective genres. We are going to learn all about 4 music genres and ghostly hauntings of the first queens of music, and where these first queens of music are haunting. If there is any documented reports of there being any ghostly hauntings. Okay, take a sip of my coffee. Get into it now. Okay, our first genre is country music. Yeah, we're starting off with country music like we did with the Ghost of Kings of Music. So instead of Roy Acuff, we're going to find out who the first queen of music is. The first king of country was Roy Acuff. So we'll see who the first queen of music is. Yeah. After I tell you, it's a little, we're going a little over what country is. Country music is. Country music is a form of a popular music originating in rural southern USA. It is traditionally a mix of ballads and dance tunes played characteristically on fiddle, guitar, steel guitar, drums, and keyboards. Okay. Now, let's see who the first queen of country music is. And it is, she's at number 1, and it is Kitty Wells. Kitty Wells, I mentioned in the Trailblazing Women of the Grand Ole Opry. Okay. Kitty Wells was a country singer that was considered to be the first queen of country music in 1952 until her death on July 16th, 2012. It was like 13 years ago. Yeah, Kitty Wells has been gone for 13 years. So she died in Madison, Tennessee from complications of a stroke at 92 years old. Well, she lived a pretty good life. Let's see. 60 years as Queen of Country Music. That's not bad. Okay, let's see if there's any documented ghost stories about her. There are no widely known or documented ghost stories significantly connected to Kitty Wells or her family, but there is a strange tale involving her grandmother, Nancy Curlin Burnton's grave. It is situated in the middle of a road in Franklin, Indiana, USA. So I'm guessing that at one time where the road is, there used to be a graveyard and they just paved over it and didn't move the grave. You hear a lot of that in the state. It happens in the States. A lot of things get built over graves. Okay. This is what the ghost story is about. Some people have reported seeing ghosts, hearing voices, and experiencing car troubles near the gravesite of Kitty Wells's grandmother, Nancy Curlin Burnton. You hear a lot of that if you disturb a grave. The dead doesn't like that. They have an opinion on you disturbing their final resting place. I can understand that if somebody did, when I'm gone and somebody disturbs my final resting place, I might make a ruckus about it. Okay. Let's go on from country music to opera. Opera is a dramatic work in one or more acts set to music for singers and the instrumental. So it's, yeah. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy to look up, find these, who the first queens were. Because not every music genre has a monarch of their own perspective genre. Okay. Okay. Number 2. Our second queen is Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to try to clean my phone screen so I could see what I have wrote in here. Okay, we're on our second first queen of music. And okay, try to pronounce her name. Jia U D I D I Dit Ta Pasta. Gio Giau Dit Ta Pasta was an Italian opera singer that was considered to be the first queen of opera. In 1820s, that's way before Kitty Wales' time, until her death on April 1st, 1865 in Como, province of Como, Lombardy, Italy, from Palmin. Hold on. Where am I? From pulmonary infection. Ooh. Okay. I'm just gonna see her little, how long her reign was. "45 years. She was the first queen of opera." Okay. There's all widely known ghost stories or paranormal claims associated with Giau Dit Ta Pasta, but there is ghost stories near the place Giau Dit Ta Pasta had died in. The ghost story of Lake Como is about the heartbroken ghost of a noble woman. So since it's in Italy, it would be probably an Italian noblewoman. A noblewoman, Agnes, waiting on loggia of the Branello Promontory, and Queen Theodolinda's spirit at Castello di Vizio. The ghost of a murdered Duke of Piacenza. Ooh. We got everything from royalty to nobility in this ghost story. Additionally, the mysterious Villa di Avici is rumored to be haunted by the resident who plays the piano. And the ancient legend of Alaro Asaro. Ooh, and a lake monster adds another layer to the area's folklore. We got a phantom pianist, some royals, nobles, ghosts, and a lake monster, all mixed into one. Makes a very, very eerie ghost story. Okay. Okay, let's move on from opera to Advent hymns. Yeah, so, well, you're wondering what happened to the first queen of pop. I was having problems trying to find who that was, and it only came up as Madonna, and we know she's still alive. And I was trying to go for the ones that have passed on to make the layer of spooky. Okay. Advent hymns. Okay. For my religious watchers, they might know more about Advent hymns, but for the ones that don't know it, I will tell you. The Advent hymns are songs and hymns intended for Advent and the 4 weeks of preparation for Christmas. And Christmas is like 2 months from now. Topics of the time of expectation are the hope for a Messiah, prophets, and symbolism, of light, and among others. The symbol of light, among others. So that's why it's mainly for around the Christmas season. Okay. Our third and second last first queen of music, a lot of my religious watchers would have heard of this woman because she happens to be the mom of Jesus, and that is the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary is the mother of Jesus Christ, as I said, that was considered to be the first queen of the Advent hymns in the 4th century until her death on 33 AD in Jerusalem. So, I'm not even going to try to figure that out. In Jerusalem, Israel. Or, when I looked it up, is that there was another possible area where the Virgin Mary could have died. No. That, Jerusalem, Israel, or... I was like, I get this straight now. I want to shoot and fly this way. Yep. He's yes, Greece. So she could have died in Israel or she could have died in Greece. Not sure. From natural death of old age. So by 33 AD, she would have been probably, at that time frame, she would have been old. And I'm not going to try to figure out her reign because it was probably... Okay, it says, according to AI, it says 333 years. So that she reigned longer than the rest of the ladies. Oh, okay. Okay. There has been some reports of ghost stories through history of people around the world have reported seeing appearances of the Virgin Mary. A lot of these appearances of people seeing the Virgin Mary have been showcased on Unsolved Mysteries episodes, like, especially like when Unsolved Mysteries was around the first time when Robert Stack was still alive. It was shown on there. These appearances are unusually accompanied by important messages of hope, healing, and returning to a life with Jesus. But the famous appearance of the Virgin Mary was Our Lady of, hopefully I get this right, it's French name, Lou Aro Diaz in France in 1848, where she appeared to a 14-year-old girl named Bernadette. So, Beroes and Our Lady of Phantom in Portugal in 1917. She was seen by 3 shepherd children. Another significant appearance is Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico in 1531, where her image appeared on Juan Diego's cloak. These appearances are celebrated for their messages of hope and healing, and calls for prayer and penance. There. Yeah. That's the ghostly tale of the Virgin Mary. Okay. Let's move on to our final music genre, to dance music. Dance music's history spans centuries, evolving from formal dances including jazz/swing to the 70s disco era, which saw electric elements rise and disco becoming a cultural movement. From their electric dance music, in short is EDM, emerging with genres like house and techno in the late 70s and 80s, expanding into mainstream with devised subgenres during the rave scene of the 90s, and continuing to evolve with modern EDM. Okay. Now, our final final first queen of music. She wasn't a singer herself, but she was famous for being a real life royal. So she's the only real life royal out of these totally ladies. We got the Virgin Mary, which is biblical, and the other two were part of the music scene. Musicians. So our final first queen of music is Catherine de Medici. Catherine de Medici is a French queen consort that was considered to be the first queen of dance music. In the late 16th century, until her death on January 5th, 1589, in the Royal Chateau of Blois, in Blois, France, from Paul Rossi. Yeah. Let's see how many. There's it. Catherine de' Medici, a little historical fact. She was married to Henry II of France, and Catherine de' Medici was from Italy. But I'm actually related to de' Medicis. Never know, I may be related to Catherine de' Medici. Who knows? Could be right. Okay, oh, we don't need to know. It's kind of hard to figure it out. Okay, actually I'll do this. Oh. Just also Catherine de' Medici was the mother-in-law to my third-time cousin Mary, Queen of Scots. Because Mary, Queen of Scots married Catherine de' Medici's son. Okay, let's see what ghostly tales of the late Queen of Catherine de' Medici, the Queen Consort of France, and wife to Henry II. The first, we got a couple of ghost stories here of Catherine de Medici. The first ghost story about Catherine de Medici is the legend of her ghost appearing at the Chateau de Chin on a shoe, combing the hair of her rival Diane de Partries under a full moon. I guess this woman that she's in the first ghost series, that Catherine's been spotted brushing her hair, was one of Henry II's mistresses. Yeah. Okay, the last ghost story about Catherine de Medici is a legend claims her hitman's ghost, known as Lil Redman, still haunts the Tuileries garden, only appearing before times of significant death or distress in the royal family. Well, France doesn't have a royal family anymore, so I wonder if he stopped appearing because of that. He might be showing up lately because of France is going between prime ministers. I don't know if that counts as distress. But, I guess it's only, it only shows up the stress of the royal family, so France doesn't have a royal family anymore. Well, because there's no monarchy in France anymore. Unless they plan on reinstating their monarchy. But then you know how many times they've done that and they didn't work very fine well. And so far lately I've never heard of anybody significantly being dead in France. So it's kind of like they say that there's a lot of ghosts like that, stories that are connected to a ghost that shows up on a certain date or a certain time period. Like they say with Elizabeth I, or as they call her, Old Queen Bess. Which she has to be another cousin of mine. Her ghost has been seen, but has been seen more like if a time of war. Like the last time she was seen very more actively was in the Second World War and the time of George VI, our current king, Charles III's grandpa. He seen her just before the Blitz. And seeing her, the story is that George VI seen Elizabeth I a lot. her ghost a lot around the time during the time of the Second World War, closely when the Germans were going to bomb England, attack England, but and there's a lot of different ghost stories that, if you look it up, that certain ghosts frequently pop up a lot, or more active in certain types. I think a White House has a ghost that's more active on a certain time period. Is it Abe? Or one of the deceased first ladies. It could be another topic of about ghosts that are more active, though, because, and then there's ghost stories that the ghost just shows up at certain times, like around the time of their death, like kind of like they say about Jane Seymour, that she only shows up around the time of her death, or I think it's close to the time of her son's birth, because she died not long after she gave birth to Henry VIII's rightful male heir, because back then they're all gone cold. You need a male to rule. The women are too weak to do it. And then his daughters ruled pretty well. I think Lady Jane Grey would have ruled pretty good if she more than 9 days. Then there's some ghost stories of ghosts that pop up as a warning of a pending doom. Like they kind of like the legend around Halloween. If you hear an owl hooting on Halloween, that somebody's about to die. It's kind of like the Banshee story that in Celtic lore, that if you see a Banshee or hear one, that somebody's about to go to the other side. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, there's like a lot of, you look it up, there's a lot of ghost stories that it's like when they're more active, they know that in a certain period of time frame that are more active, they, on the other side, they kind of are know that something's happening, that something's gonna happen. And then there's the ghost stories that are trying to warn of a pending doom, or just trying to try to stop that pending doom to happen. There's somewhere here in Canada, we have a ghost story about a ghost that shows up to more or less as a warning. It's around the time of, I think, a hurricane. That might be more in the Maritimes, maybe. Yeah. Oh, there's... Yeah. Well, and I was writing this, and I got down to Catherine Demici's ghost stories. And I got down to the ghost story about her... What was it again? Her... hitman's ghost, called the Little Red Man. And I read that significant death or distress in the royal family. I was thinking, I wonder if somehow these kind of figures stop now, because France hasn't had a monarchy since the 18th century. So unless he's being in stress for the ones that are in line to the French throne, but the French throne hasn't been in use in a long time. So there's I wonder if he's kind of deceased, being around a lot. Now, but then I wonder if he was around, showing up around, his ghost was showing up around the time of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI, heading to the guillotine during the French Revolution. Well, then the guy that thought of that backfired in his face. He got thrown to the guillotine himself. I'm going to have to look that up and see if there's any ghostly reports of maybe if he was. Maybe I'll do that right now. This is going to bother me. Active. Revolution. No. Cordaye, there's no evidence that Catherine de Medici's hitman's ghost being active during the French Revolution. So the answer's, as this is a mythological legend that became prominent centuries after her death, while legends of Catherine de Medici, these ghosts or other ghosts associated with the Charles Palace calculated during the French Revolution. The significant figure of the hitman's ghost is later invented that conflicted different legends, such as the Red Ghost and the ghost of Jean-Yves Mézès Guijar. Then down here it says the legend of the hitman's ghost associated with Catherine Dmitri became more prominent centuries later, with the Red Ghost appearing at Chamalow's palace as a sign of impending doom during the French Revolution. I guess it's not really was a lot of people that I guess weren't paying attention back then because of what was going on during the French Revolution, because people were getting sick and tired of the way it was going, people starving, and okay. If you like this little spin-off of Ghost of Kings of Music, then you know the drill. If you like the Ghost of Queens of Music, then since you know the drill, like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment, and don't forget to ring the bell. And well, maybe next season might look for other first monarchs from different things and see what kind of ghosts were lit stories pop up there. Yeah. It wasn't easy to find this ghostly tales. So for now, I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. I did start the Jack the Ripper script. That way, no. We talked about Jack the Ripper when we talked about scary things from Victorian era. Next season, we're gonna get into the Georgian era. So I'm not sure what we're doing next week. I have the Jack the Ripper thing. This month we're gonna, since last season we did Universal Monsters topic, we're gonna talk about the Monsterverse. So we'll see what I'll have for next week. So, till next week, I will say goodbye. Goodbye.